What if I told you that the average house that has been in one family for 2 generations is holding at least one item worth more than the mortgage payment, and almost nobody knows which item it is? Tonight, we are going to find yours. We are walking through the whole house together, room by room, the sewing room, the kitchen, the bedroom, the den, and the dining room. 10 rare items, 10 tests you can do tonight with your own hands. And I am going to do the one thing these videos never do, because the comment I read most often says the same thing every time. Fine, it is worth a fortune. To whom, where is this buyer? So tonight, for every single item, you get the test, you get what it has actually sold for, and you get exactly who buys it. Let us start walking. One honest word first, the way a real dealer would say it. Most old things are worth pleasant money, not fortunes. And I will tell you which is which as we go, because that is what this channel is for. If you are living in an inherited house, or your attic holds boxes you have never opened, hit subscribe, because every week on this channel we turn over one more shelf that everyone else walks past. One more thing. Nothing tonight requires an appraiser, a subscription, or a trip to town. Every test is your own 2 hands and a good lamp. Now, let us count them down. Number 10. The little black sewing machine in the case. Start in the sewing room, because this is the one everybody gets wrong. Not the big cabinet machine. That one is furniture money. The little black portable in the carrying case, the Singer Featherweight. Small, light, plain-looking, and quilters fight over them to this day, because no machine before or since sews a straighter seam. Clean examples have sold for hundreds, the rare years and colours for far more. Your test tonight, open the case and read the little silver badge, Featherweight, and check the plate under the machine for the serial number that dates it. The kids see an old sewing machine. Quilters see the best travel machine ever built. Who buys it? The quilting community, actively today, in clubs and forums full of women hunting their next featherweight. Number 9. The black skillet that raised the family. Into the kitchen. That heavy black frying pan that fried 80 years of chicken. Turn it over. If the bottom says Griswold with the cross logo, or Wagner, you are holding the cast iron collector's Chase Hardest. The old pans were cast thin and machined smooth as glass, nothing like the rough, heavy pans sold today, and the rare sizes and shapes. The small ones, the big ones, the odd ones, have sold for hundreds, the rarest for thousands. Your test tonight, read the bottom, feel the inside, smooth means old, and check that it sits flat with no wobble and no cracks. The kids see grandma's old pan. Collectors see machined iron. Nobody can make any more. Who buys it? Cast iron collectors with their own clubs and swap meets, and they pay more for a pan with a family story attached. Number 8. The jewellery box on the dresser. Into the bedroom. Not the diamonds, those get appraised. The costume jewellery everyone assumes is worthless. Read the tiny marks on the backs, because the right names, Trifari, Eisenberg, the early signed pieces, the figural brooches shaped like animals and flowers, have sold for hundreds apiece. The ugly big pieces, honestly, are often the valuable ones, because bold sold then and bold sells now. Your test tonight, a bright light, the loop if you have one, and sort by signature, signed to one side, unsigned to the other. The kids see grandma's clip-ons. Collectors see signed design history. Who buys it? Vintage costume jewellery dealers, and the auction houses that now run entire costume jewellery sales. Number 7. The little figurines that came home from a war, on the shelf in the den. Turn each figurine over, and if the base says Made in Occupied Japan, you are holding a piece of history that only existed for 7 years when servicemen shipped them home by the sea bag. Most are modest money. The rare larger pieces and pairs have sold for hundreds, and complete collections for far more. Your test tonight is the mark, all 3 words, occupied Japan. Then do the part that matters more than money, find out who brought it home, and write the answer on a slip of paper tucked inside, because the story is half the value. Who buys it? A dedicated collectors club, and militaria dealers who buy the story along with the porcelain. Number 6. The odd spoons in the sideboard drawer. Every house has the drawer of spoons that match nothing. Read the backs. If you find the word sterling, or the little stamped pictures on British pieces, a walking lion, an anchor, a letter, that is not a spoon, that is silver bullion with a collectible on top. One Victorian sterling serving piece has sold for more than the furniture it was sitting in. Your test tonight, bright light, sort sterling from silver plate, because plate says things like EPNS, and plate is worth nearly nothing. Who buys it? Every antique silver dealer in the country, and on the worst day, the refinery pays the metal price, a flaw under this one that nothing else in the house has. Number 5. The quilt in the cedar chest. Lift the lid on that chest at the foot of the bed. A hand-stitched quilt, and you can tell by the tiny, uneven stitches and the knots on the back, is months of a woman's evenings sewn into cloth, and the market has finally noticed. The old patterns, the signed and dated corners, the unusual colours, have sold for hundreds, and the rare early ones for thousands. Machine-stitched copies are blankets. Hand-stitched originals are folk art. Your test tonight, flip a corner and follow one line of stitching with your finger. Hand stitches wander like handwriting. The kids see an old blanket. Collectors see American folk art. Who buys it? Folk art dealers, quilt museums and decorators. And a dated, signed quilt with the maker's name attached can double the price. Number 4. The decanter with its own stopper. Into the dining room now, because the rest of tonight lives here. Cut crystal is having its moment, and the piece to check is the decanter, specifically its stopper. The stoppers were numbered and ground to fit one neck only, so a decanter that kept its born-with stopper is worth several times one wearing a stranger's. Your test tonight, look for the etched mark, Waterford and its cousins, then check that the stopper seats with a soft, perfect click and shows the same wear as the neck. A signed old decanter with its own stopper has sold for hundreds, rare patterns beyond that. Who buys it? The Crystal Replacement Services and the Collectors, both published, both reachable tonight. Number 3. The hand-painted platter from Japan. Before the wars, Japanese porcelain came into this country hand-painted, gilded, beaded with raised gold, marked Nippon, or carrying the early Noritake marks. The everyday white and gold wedding sets, pleasant money, I will be honest. But the early hand-painted pieces, the scenic vases, the platters with raised gold work, have sold for hundreds and occasionally far more. Your test tonight, find the mark. Then tilt the piece in the light and look for brush strokes, because hand paint has direction and a printed decal does not. Who buys it? Nippon and Noritake collectors, organised and hungry, because the supply ended forever when the marks changed. Number 2, the dark red glass that glows. On the top shelf of the cabinet, the deep jewel-red pitcher or vase. Cranberry glass, coloured by mixing real gold into the melt. Hold it to the window. Real cranberry glows like a lit ember, the colour swimming inside the glass, not painted on it. The Victorian pieces have sold for hundreds, and the colour cannot be faked cheaply because the recipe literally costs gold. Your test tonight is window light. and a look for the rough pontile scar of hand-blown glass underneath. Who buys it? Art glass dealers and the auction houses, and this is one where a real auction beats a yard sale 100 to 1. And number 1. The cabinet, all of it, stands in. You knew where we were ending, because the internet has spent 10 years telling you nobody wants your china cabinet, that brown furniture is dead, that your children will not take it. I beg to differ, and so do the buyers. The solid wood cabinets, the curved glass fronts, the carved oak with the claw feet are quietly climbing, because nobody has made furniture like that in 80 years, and nobody ever will again. A curved glass oak cabinet has sold for more than everything on its shelves put together, and the curved glass alone, unbroken, is worth real money, because curved glass is nearly impossible to replace. Your test tonight, look at the back. Rough sawn boards and square nails mean real age. Then open the doors and let the wood tell you itself. Who buys it? Young couples furnishing first homes who cannot afford new solid wood, and the dealers who supply them. Do not let anyone paint it, and do not let anyone haul it away for free. So there is your house, room by room. The featherweight, the Griswold, the jewellery box, the occupied figurines, the sterling drawer, the quilt, the decanter, the hand-painted Japan, the cranberry glass, and the cabinet itself. 10 tests, 1 evening, no expert required. And for every one of them, now you know the thing almost nobody watching these videos ever gets told, who actually writes the check. Tell me in the comments, which room are you checking first? And what is the one piece in your house that came with a story? Do your children want it or not? I read every answer, and the item with the most stories becomes the next video. If this saved even one house from an estate sale disaster, share it with the one person you know who still lives among their grandmother's things. See you next time.